Welcome back to Shemsuniverse. So today guys, we're going to discuss Chaldean name number 3. So with the name number of 3 guys, what we have here is the energy of Jupiter. So this is a very easy kind of name number to do. The last 2 were very powerful numbers, but yet they still had their good and their bad luck. Number 3 is really known for its wealth, fortune, and good luck and happy-go-lucky sort of life. When it shows up as a name number, as we already know, this is a physical representation of you. This is kind of like your body's vibration. So when you're a baby and you come out of your mother's womb, your first breath is when you actually take your first breath of the universe. You're breathing in, and that gives you your vibration. That's why astrology believes the stars align a certain way, which in turn gives you certain personality traits and characteristics. The same goes with numerology. When you breathe in for the first time, that's why it's your birthday. You took your first breath. You were set on a life path. You have a birth number, of course, from the day, and then your name based on what your parents choose to name you. That actually has a huge effect on the physical representation of your body and what it's going to be capable of and what kind of setbacks it's going to have. When we look at the number 3 from this perspective, the number 3 as a name number, it gives a person goodwill. It gives them the ability to make a lot of money, become very famous, a lot of natural artistic skills. They'll be good in one of these 64 arts for sure. Whether that be from writing to singing to dancing, they'll really know how to naturally do it without any sort of teaching prior. Also, with the number 3, these are people that are naturally very happy people, especially when it shows up as a name number. These people always kind of look at life from a sort of optimistic sort of perspective and not really look at the negatives in things. They'll understand the negatives, but they don't really like to think too deep into things like that, which is a very good trait to have. This is why they're very successful. This is why they're able to inspire other people and really have a very good energy when it comes to social interactions. So I'm going to go into some of the numbers right now. Like I said, it's going to be one of our shorter videos just because it doesn't require as much explanation as like the 1 or 2 where there was a lot of setbacks and so forth. The number 3 ones are really quite basic, very basic things. So when you have the name number 3 as a name number, your main concern really should be, is it interacting well with my birth and life path number? And if it is, then you're set and good to go. If it's not, then that's where you may have some problems. And how you're going to know that is going to be in videos I'm going to do in the future, where I'm actually going to tell you the relationship between the planets and how numerologists do their readings. Once you know that, you're pretty much set and good to go. All right. So the first number I want to go over, we already kind of went over number 3, the very basic essence of it. The next one, it would be the number 12. So that consists of 1 and 2, the numbers we were just speaking about as well. So this is where this problems is. It's one of those problematic numbers in Chaldean. The number 12 is known as the victim. Reason being, it's number 1, which is the sun, and number 2, which is the moon. So this is 2 oppositions, opposite polarities going at it. Then you get number 3, which is like their child, which is Jupiter. So these people have a lot of talent because you have the power of the sun, the power of the moon, so you're able to really take action. You're also able to be able to listen to other people, be intuitive, probably have a bit of psychic ability. And then you have all the energy of the number 3 and the artistic skills. The problem is the emotional volatility that the 2 brings to the 3 is actually unhealthy for the 3. The same strength I was bringing up for a purebred 3, the number 12 sometimes lacks, which means the ability to stay happy all the time, the ability to be very optimistic and look at the positives in things. The number 2 always brings sort of a sorrowful look on life. It brings sort of it goes with the flow a lot, and the emotions are very volatile. So when that happens, the number 3 doesn't end up sticking with things. They end up lacking discipline, and they end up externalizing their problems and blaming other people. When this occurs, you just need to watch out for just making sure that you manage your stress appropriately, whether that be through working out, meditating, or doing something that you enjoy, such as a hobby, like going fishing, hunting, whatever. Or you need to just understand your energy and understand that you're capable of a lot more. Some career options for the number 12 would be anything from directing, from acting, anything in the music business as well. But definitely a very special relationship with movies when it comes to acting, directing, producing. Those type of things for number 12 will be very lucrative, just due to the fact that it actually sustains the 1's need for leadership, the 2's need to actually interact with other people, and of course the art field for the 3. So it's very good for that. I definitely recommend any 12. If you're not into it already, and if you're young, look into the movie business for sure. You don't necessarily have to be the person that's the principal actor. You could do things like staging, things like background acting, but all these things will probably lead to something for you naturally because your name number vibrates in that sort of fashion. The next number that I want to cover would be the number 21. So a lot of people would think that because 12 and 21 are just backwards forms of each other, they'd be the same. They're actually not. 21 is considered a little more luckier in Chaldean numerology, which at first threw me for a bit of a loop. Reason being, the 2 comes first, and then the 1 after, and then it adds the 3. That made the hugest difference. According to the Chaldeans, the sequence of numbers as well affects the vibration that's going to occur. When the 21 is more about, because the 2 is more in control, it more so gives the person the ability to work for companies, do businesses, advertising agencies, things like that. But any sort of job, and they just get their due promotion over time. Even in the military, they really rise up in ranks. This is a number that's like a real game number. It looks at life sort of like a game. And if you have this as a name number, even if you just work for people because the number 2 comes first, it's more of a subservient position sort of number, you're actually able to take over companies because you have the sub-control of the number 1 and then the powerful effect of the number 3. So this is going to give you the capability of actually going into a company and being noticed for your skills very quickly. People will actually take notice, and even without you asking for a leadership position, you may very well just be given it just because of how you do your business, how you operate. All right. Next one would be number 30. Number 30 is number 3 amplified by 0. So as I discussed with the number 10 and number 20, when you have your number amplified by 0, that means nothing. In the universe, we get outside the realm of duality, which means nothing means everything, everything means nothing, and there's the paradoxal thing. So with the number 3, when it's amplified by 0, you actually get somebody who's very, very confident within themselves. They're very optimistic. They know the size of their planet. Whether or not they know about numerology, they know that they have a very powerful presence, a very powerful aura. The name number 30 is going to provide you with the ability to do politics. I'd recommend anybody that has the number 30 get into things like politics, same as the number 12, directing, and maybe even just initiating your own business in anything to do with the art field. The reason being behind that is because you're naturally going to be very, very good at keeping self-assuredness, and you're also going to be good at like holding your emotions together and being able to influence other people's emotions based on your creativity. With that being said, anything that you do on your own and independent, you're going to be very just naturally inclined to do and very good at, just without much effort on your part. A lot of politicians do have a name number of 30, and also a lot of independent business owners have this name number, just for the reason that they don't really feel the emotional ups and downs that a lot of people usually would. You guys are actually just able to look at a problem, analyze it, and then just deal with it with all action. Number 3 is like the male mentality of the winner. When it comes to Chaldean numerology, meaning they like to do everything themselves, like a one-man or one-woman army. Whereas the number 1 was more about the feminine winner mentality, which means interacting and creating different networks. And it doesn't really mean that one is better than the other. It just means that that's the way in which both go for success. Sun likes to interact with all the planets and shine light on them, whereas the Jupiter just likes to do its own thing in a sense. It's just a huge piece of mass that actually just executes a lot of power. So that's just really how it is. If you have number 30, use it to your advantage. I'd recommend anything from, like I said, politics to acting to executive producing to just running your own business with anything regarding the arts or whatever other interests you may have based on your psychic number or life path. All right. The final number I'll cover very briefly is just the number 39. I know people do also get that as a name number as well. With the number 39, like I said, with the 30 gave the 3 amplification. The 9, because it's a number of everything, gives the 3 actually down. Also adds to 12, which gives it the victim archetype. With 39, you tend to have a hard time dealing with life, just in the sense that you view yourself as deserving things that you may not actually deserve. People that have the 39, an average numerologist will just tell you to simplify it down to the number 12 and not really look at the 39, but you can look at the 39 as well if you really would like to. And when that happens is you have 2 of the heavenly triad numbers, number 3, number 9. When you break those 2 numbers down, you realize that they do work well together if they're a psychic and life path number. But as a name number, not so much. It makes you kind of self-righteous. It's going to make you have a certain perspective on life that may not be correct and analytical. It may just be a little bit too emotional. Way to bypass that. Look at the tricks that I recommended for the number 12, and then utilize those in your everyday life, and then surgically remove your flaws, and then put in certain things that you can actually do to be more ruthless. All right? So that would conclude my summary of the number 3 name numbers. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, just please let me know in the comments. Aside from that, guys, please like, subscribe, holla at me. That's it for today, guys. Peace.